love your website. I think that Thisis50 is such an important website for hip-hop music, and I just hope that it gets bigger and bigger.
As do I.
This is Cynthia Horner, and you're watching Thisis50.com.
Right on.
My name is Cynthia Horner. I'm the editor-in-chief of Hip Hop Weekly magazine, and I've been an entertainment journalist for many years, many more than I want to say. But I'm someone who's associated with a lot of the biggest names in show business, because at one point we were talking earlier about the fact that when I met these people, they were newcomers trying to get put on, and at the time I worked at Right On magazine, so I had plenty of opportunities to help all these newcomers.
How did you get at Right On magazine? What do you go to apply for a job at Right On?
That was back in '76.
Okay.
I actually went to an employment agency with my little briefcase. I had just graduated from college. I literally walked through the door and they said, "That is the perfect person." That's exactly how it happened. I'm serious.
What?
Yes, but I had a backup
Did you have your boobs out or something?
I looked like a little kid, and they wanted somebody that could get along with Michael Jackson. That was the main criteria, because the company that owned Right On had a licensing deal with the Jacksons. So the main criteria was that somebody had to be able to get along with the Jacksons, because they had to be in every single issue of the magazine.
Every single issue?
Yes.
Did the Jacksons have any stock in Right On magazine?
No, they just had a licensing deal that Motown had set up at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how were the Jacksons, man? Everybody wants to.
Nice, humble, the most humble people I have ever met in my life. And they're still that way. I talked to Tito a couple of days ago, and he's still humble, just like he always was. You know, they always were like that, but they were really fun, and they were the first really rich people I'd ever met. So
in your life?
Yeah, I was a fan, but not as big a fan as most people, because I was somebody that always worked, always did my journalism, being the editor of the school newspaper and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't get to follow the Jacksons like that. So when I met Michael and he found out I was not the biggest Jackson 5 fan in the world, he was so happy. He said, "You've got to come over to my house and start hanging out with me."
Wow.
Because he was tired of everybody like fainting when they would see him. Even celebrities would faint around him. Start screaming, hollering. His dad had me come over there a couple weeks later. I got to go in this room, see all this fan mail, thousands of fan mail letters that were coming in.
Thousands. They had a room full?
Yes. I saw all these animals that he had. You know, he had like snakes and all kinds of dogs and parakeets and all kinds of animals. It was like being at a zoo.
Jumanji.
Do you have an untold Michael Jackson story?
There's many of them. They go in my book, but I guess I could tell you a story.
Just one.
Well, we used to like to go.
I'm a big fan.
Okay, we used to, oh, I see.
Yeah.
We used to go to get ice cream a lot. He loved Baskin-Robbins ice cream.
My first shopping experience in 30 years.
Just remember Michael Jackson ice cream.
So we would go to these different ice cream places to try out all the different flavors. And I would drive him around, because at the time he was too scared to drive. So I'd drive him around in my little car, and we would go get ice cream. And he also liked going to El Torito to get Mexican food.
It's an old commercial, American commercial, to make kids eat green peas. Ho, ho, ho.
So Michael Jackson liked ice cream and Mexican food?
Yes.
Wow, who knew? Man, you gotta be honest with me. Did you ever date one of the Jacksons?
Not really, because most of them were married.
Not really me.
It means that I would hang out with them all, but I was friends with their wives.
You ever kissed any one of them in the mouth?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I am a very respectable person. I didn't even get married until 3 or 4 years ago.
Tell us about your encounter with Prince.
Oh, Prince used to call the job all the time, because Right On magazine used to be in California. He would call like 2 and 3 times a day. We would just ignore his calls. We didn't know who he was, never heard of him. And
They're ignoring Prince calls.
So then what happened was, out of desperation, he called and said, can you come to SIR Recording Studios and I will play you some instruments and you will see that I have talent. And after that, I will have to be in the magazine.
Right.
So I got so tired of him calling, I finally said, okay, I'm going down there. I'm going to tell this guy off, tell him he's got to stop calling my job. People are tired of talking to him. Went down there, he started playing all these different instruments, drums, all these instruments. I was like amazed. I said, you know what? You are the most talented person I've ever met as a musician. So I agreed to put him in the magazine. So then we set up an interview. He had me meet him at Farmer's Market. He had on a pair of torn up raggedy shorts and some high heel boots.
Was the ass cut out the shorts?
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
No,
he was cool that day. Huh?
Yeah, see what happened was they were cut out in the front. You know, like how people rip
he
their
had the crotch
jeans.
cut out?
No, down below
okay,
in the leg area.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and he was always wearing shorts because I guess he thought he had good legs.
Yeah, he thought he was sexy.
Yeah, and so we started doing a lot of interviews.
Did he have a perm?
No, he had an afro at the time.
Oh, he had the fro at the time. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Later on, his hair got flattened out more straight.
Oh, right, when he started becoming Prince.
Yeah. So what happened was I contacted the record company. They were like laughing because I found out he was on Warner Brothers, and they said, "Look, this guy we can get rid of more posters of him than we can sell records." Because he was so new, his music was different. So no one really understood what it was that he was trying to do. So, you know, he had a lot of trouble, but after getting in the magazine, it became a lot easier because he was really gorgeous looking at these green eyes, the big afro. Nobody's seen anyone like him before. And even Michael Jackson would say, "Who is he?"
Really?
Yes.
Michael Jackson said that.
Yes.
I love you.
You gotta tell me how you meet New Edition.
Okay, New Edition, they had these two young managers, and they said that the group wanted me to fly to Boston. By then I lived in New Jersey. They saved up their money for an airplane ticket. They had someone come and get me. They had them perform in a basement of somebody's house. Electricity went out. They lived in the projects, so money was extremely tight, to say the least. Then they tried to have a meal for me. They cooked barbecue on a trash can, one of those tall trash cans that you light it up. That was my meal. And they bought me some flowers from one of those you know, those people that sell those dollar bunches of flowers on the street. That's all they could afford. Yeah, they were like 12 and 13. And they had one song called Candy Girl that they weren't making any money off of, you know, because they were so little, you know, the contract wasn't any good. So they got signed to MCA Records.
I love that song, Candy Girl.
Yeah. See, what happened was Gerald Busby, who's now deceased, he was the head of black music at MCA Records. He saw them in Right On Magazine. He said, if somebody is in Right On Magazine, that means something. So he flew them to California and fixed it for them to get on Soul Train. And when they got on Soul Train, people went crazy over them because of the dancing. After that, it was
Nick Cannon
set.
bringing Soul Train back.
Yeah, I know.
That's going to be crazy. How do
I
you feel
know.
about that?
Oh, I'm happy about that because I don't think that Soul Train ever should have gone away because Soul Train is part of our culture, and I think that we as black people need to make sure that if something is part of our culture that we preserve it. We should not let anything die.
Yes, I do now.